Yo, what's good? Real Flow, back with another video. Spider-Man in the back. How we doing, y'all? People are asking me, Rowan, why the fuck are you wearing a Greggs apron? That is weird. Hella sus. I'm like, yeah, it is hella sus, to be fair. Well, shout out to Ghost Rider 15. I think I'm getting the number right there. He basically dared me to wear a Greggs apron in a video, which is kind of weird because he was getting at me for wearing a game one, and I was like, yeah, I'm just repping the merch, and now I'm repping the Greggs merch because this looks absolutely fire, bro. So shout out to Ghost Rider for that good suggestion. I think it's a great suggestion. I think this is going to tie in quite well with the can't get the what's the word, the theme of the video. So the theme of the video is to talk about basically how you shouldn't do something that you're not comfortable doing or you don't enjoy doing if you don't see a long-term benefit of it, if that makes sense. So if you want to go far in life, you have to do some sacrifices that are worth doing to get that end goal. So you're going to have to do some bad stuff that you hate doing to get to that end goal. But if you're doing something just for the money and you absolutely hate it and there's no end goal, so it's not even a means to an end, it's just you doing it for the sake of it because you need a bit of pocket change, then I'd suggest that it's not good for your mental health and it's not going to help you at all. Like, you're going to have the money, but at the same time you're going to be just miserable and you're not going to want to do what you're doing. I'd suggest you find something else. So as an example, for me, when I was at university in first year, I had an experience where I had a lot of money at the start of the year. I had like $2,000 or something going into uni in my first year, and then stupid little me, when I was a degenerate, as Hamza would call it, I must have spent all that money. You get student loan on top of that as well, so a good couple hundred quid, 500 quid. I spent all that money. All that money I'd saved up just working, and I'd spent it all in the first few months at uni. And then I had to get an overdraft, which basically means that you have to go to the bank, say, can I get like an overdraft, and they'll give you a set amount of money. So I got £1,000 to spend above my budget. I paid that off last year. Like, I haven't had any trouble since, but in that time period I was struggling for jobs, and I ended up applying for some jobs that I didn't really fancy doing, so I ended up applying for Greggs, yeah. If I've got an American audience or European or whatever and you don't know what Greggs is basically like, it's a fast food service that has like cheese pasties, like pastries and stuff like that, sausage rolls, all that jazz, and it's quite cheap. But I did the job for a week maybe, tops, to the point where I was like, I'm sick of this, I don't want to work here anymore. And I think even back then, I can give myself praise that I knew when something I didn't want to do, it was just get out there as soon as you can. Get out of there. Like, don't stay. There's no point staying if you don't see yourself there in a few years' time. If it's not sustainable and you're not enjoying it, if you're just doing it for the money, then don't do it. Like, I guess that kind of sounds egotistical in a way, because some people's lives and livelihoods depend on working in a place like that. But if you want to have a higher standard, then I wouldn't settle for something like that just because the money was okay. After that, I ended up getting a job, like an acting gig, from one of my, not friends, but one of my tutors in uni actually said to me, do you want to be in this play? And that's what motivated me to leave the job, because it was like, I can either choose this job where I'm getting steady money, I'm getting pretty good money. It was like weekly pay, like £8 an hour for a 19-year-old. That's like pretty good money, to be fair. So I was like, it's coming in quite often and it's helping me support myself, but I don't enjoy it. And then I could have this acting job where it was like a month's work basically. So you've got 2 weeks of rehearsal, 2 weeks of show, and I'm barely getting any money for it. So I'm probably going to get 250 quid for the 4 weeks, when I could have got probably like 1,000 for 4 weeks working at Greggs. And I was like, well, I'd rather prioritise my mental health and my mental clarity and do something that I enjoy doing and I can see myself doing in the long term. Like, basically my goal is to be an actor. I'm like Captain Sinbad in that respect. Like, shout out to Captain Sinbad, absolute legend. If you're watching this, I want to work with you at some point in the future. That sounds quite open, quite forward, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I do want to work with Captain Sinbad in the future because I think his filmmaking skills and his vision and his creativity is just unparalleled in the YouTube verse, and I don't think he gets anywhere near enough respect that he should. That guy's working his arse off. You can tell, like, he's a genius at work, and I think he'll be massive in the future. But I'd love to work with him. Obviously, he lives in Michigan, I think it is. So it's a big travel. This is completely off on a random tangent, but yeah. So my career ambition is to do acting. So I was like, I'm going to prioritize something that I have a future in, as opposed to doing something short term and getting a bit of cash so I can go out and party and stuff like that, doing shallow stuff. I'd rather have a satisfying and fulfilling job for 4 weeks that I enjoy doing so much, and it's going to benefit me in the future. Like, I didn't want to stay at Greggs anymore. It was just terrible. Like, no offense to Greggs. Like, Greggs is a good business and they do a lot of good deals, and I'm sure a lot of people that work there are great people, and I just hated it. I can't describe it. It sounds egotistical in a way, but I don't think it. I think it's more just like self-respect for myself, that I didn't want to do it even though the money was there. I wanted to do something that made me feel better about myself, and I have more self-respect than to just slave away. There's like people that worked there for like 13 years, and I was like, that's crazy. I didn't even get discount either. This sounds like I'm bashing Greggs. Like, Greggs is a great place. Like, no offense to Greggs, all love to Greggs, and I'm grateful they gave me the job at the time I did, because it helped me with some of my money. But I wasn't happy there, so I was like, I had to move on and do something that I could see a future in. So, like, say you want to be a musician or you want to be a YouTuber. It's basically about delaying gratification, delaying that money coming in now, doing something that's going to be beneficial long term and you can get experience from. Yeah, that's basically the main premise of this video. Like, in the Greggs apron, like, I've got this as a souvenir, as a reminder to prioritize my own happiness and my own dreams and virtues and goals, as opposed to just doing it for a bit of money. Do you know what I mean? Just put all your work into something that you can see yourself doing in the future and have a career with, and you want to do when you get older. So see it. Don't look for means to an end. Just look for the means, if that makes sense. Like, everything is like, do everything that you enjoy. You don't need the money necessarily. Like, if you're homeless and broke, this is completely irrelevant to you. Like, don't listen to my advice, because you have to do the shit to work your way up. But, like, obviously that is a means to an end, because you have to do it as a way to get back on the financial ladder. But if you've got a safe backbone from your family or like your friends, and you want to pursue something like this, where you know, like I had when I was doing that, I was fully, like, I didn't have any money, so I was fully aware that I had to budget and I had to save up and make money where I could. Like, I was selling old PS4 games that I didn't play anymore to make money, like a bit of cash. I made like £15 just so I can put it away and then buy some tuna or something from Lidl. Like, Lidl's like a cheap store in England, if you don't know. But yeah, just prioritise your career and where you want to go, as opposed to doing shit jobs when you know you can afford to do it, if that makes sense. But yeah, appreciate you all guys for watching the video, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. I don't know if I'll be looking like this, but yeah, shout out to Ghost Rider. Appreciate it. Alright, see you in a bit, boys.